Victor Davis Hanson, Hoover Institution Senior Fellow, along with Stephen Miller, former Trump White House Senior Advisor, America First legal founder. Stephen, now just today, the HHS Secretary, who never should have been appointed, came out against this ruling, and the DOJ said it might appeal. It's they're kind of saying it as if they want to lose. What are your thoughts?
Well, they're completely trapped here because Joe Biden is the masked president. When he came into office, he said, we're all going to mask for 100 days and we're going to defeat the virus. Of course, what happened instead? We got the mask mandates, and tragically, we had record cases, record infections, record hospitalizations, and very sadly, record fatalities under Biden. Now, almost 600,000 people died under his strategy. So the masks have never, ever, ever been, as you said in your opening about the science, it's been about control. The ultimate symbol of this pandemic are wealthy elites dining at four-star restaurants, no masks in sight, while their waiters, of course, are covered in masks from start to finish. That's what this is about, controlling others.
Now, Victor, the idea of social and cultural control is a powerful one throughout history. And fear, especially fear of bodily harm, is used by torturers, it's used by dictators. And people don't understand, but maybe they are starting to understand, that it was used here. Your reaction to this ruling and the fallout from it?
Laura, it brought out the worst of all of us. And it was sort of an emulation of the Eastern Europe in the Soviet period. You had your concierge, snitches, the bureaucrats that exercised judicial, executive, and legislative power without any consent of the people. And then you had people spying on each other and turning each other in. Then you had the nomenclatura, the wealthy elite people that didn't follow their own edicts. So it was bankrupt from the start because Gavin Newsom didn't care about it. Nancy Pelosi went to her hairdresser. She didn't wear a mask. And then Anthony Fauci was the masked person. And he said, don't wear them. And then he said, wear one. And then he said, wear two. And then he said he lied about it for our own good so he wouldn't buy them. And then it was never calibrated to the pandemic that came in waves. And we just wore masks whether there was few cases or many cases. They couldn't even define a mask. A mask was a handkerchief, a half a t-shirt. N95 mask had some utility, but kids couldn't wear those. It was just mask, quote unquote. You got to do it. And we did a lot of damage, and the exemptions were just startling. We had millions of people coming across the border without masks, not to mention without vaccinations or tests, where we were clamping down on people on airplanes where it's at the same time we were told that it's the safest air because it's recirculated every 3 minutes. Right. Or children that were very unlikely to pass it on or to get COVID, they had to wear these masks at age 5 and 6, even special needs kids. And so, don't you remember the 1,000 healthcare professionals that said if you're going to protest for BLM or Antifa, you don't have to wear a mask, that'd be too injurious to your mental health. But if you're a 5-year-old kid, I have a granddaughter with special needs, you've got to wear that mask. It was medieval. And this isn't even talking about the collective damage of kids growing up, as you pointed out, where they can't see facial features. Or a bank official told me I used to be terrified of a mask, and now I have no idea every day when people come in if they're going to rob me or do their banking, because we really created a sub-industry on TikTok and YouTube of people going into stores with masks on, perfectly normal, and then they pull out a gun. So there was no differentiation between a criminal and us. Well, it just it was bad from A to Z, Laura. It always was.
Yeah, it was, Stephen, I think the media here are in a real pickle because they've used this as their symbol. If you're anti-science, you're mean, you don't care about people unless you double mask or unless you wear the right kind of mask or tightly enough or whatever it is. But now, as Chuck Todd said, it looks like the Biden administration is just racking up loss after loss. Watch.
It's one thing for a Trump judge to strike down an order from the Biden White House, but it's an entirely different thing for the White House to let it happen without any legal pushback. And it's not the first time recently that something hasn't gone the White House's way. They don't fight back. They don't defend their rationale. They just give you the emoji shrug.
Stephen, your reaction to the media They're just so mad. It's seething underneath poor Chuck Todd's collar there.
No, they're apoplectic, and some of the members of the media are fighting back by now they're posting pictures of themselves saying, basically, I'm going to mask forever. I'm going to mask till the end of time.
Good.
But what this comes down to is that people saw the videos, the spontaneous cheering and celebration on airplanes from passengers, pilots, flight attendants, when these onerous mandates were finally lifted. And you can't argue against that. What you're seeing is Democrats, Republicans, independents, elderly children. They just want to live again. And you can't, as a politician, run against a policy that is supported, i.e. living freely, by 90% of the country. So they are truly in a box canyon of their own making. There's no way out because, again, Joe Biden is the masked president. He opened his presidency by promising people that if they all masked, the virus would go away, and instead he presided over record fatalities. And the only way these mandates end for good is to vote out the Democrats, because if they are still in office come December, all the mandates will be raging back.
Oh, all back. All back. Victor, Stephen, wonderful to see you. Thank you. Now remember, if you can't watch us live, tisk tisk, but make sure you set your series record on your DVR so you don't miss us every weeknight at 10 p.m. Now, 2 weeks ago, we at the Ingram Angle launched our parent portal. Now, it's a forum where moms and dads across the country, you can document any sick lesson plan or narratives that, you have questions about your children are being subjected to in the classroom. We have received literally thousands of submissions, and up next, we're going to unveil a few. Stay there.